Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharyavandyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yada Vidya Vilasena Bhuta Bhautika Srishtaya Tam Naumi Paramatmanam Sachidananda Vigraham. Okay, any questions, clarifications before we go ahead? You had a question?
In the dream now,
Yeah.
we said that is the time when we don't use the Indriya. So it is only the Sukshma Sharira.
Yeah.
Right? So that is all samskaras or what vasanas or samskaras.
Yeah, they are based on the samskaras. All dream is based on samskaras. Waking world samskaras, this lifetime or previous lifetime. That also you have to keep into mind, okay? Because some funny dreams you get may not be samskaras of this lifetime. Maybe samskaras from a previous lifetime. Because see, we all think we start with a clean slate when you are born again. It's only a partially clean slate. It's only a clean slate as far as your memory is concerned. It is not a clean slate as far as your samskaras are concerned, your karmas are concerned. All that hangover is there. Karma, samskara. Actually, karma. Karma outside in terms of punya papa, karma inside in terms of samskaras. This is where we differ from the Buddhists. When the Buddhists talk about samskaras, they only talk of samskaras. So get rid of your karmas, etc. We say, how the hell can you get rid of your karmas? You have to go through it. But samskaras, okay. Some of them you can get rid of. Again, then completely you can't.
But all religions are based on that.
Huh? Yeah, based on that. Some understanding partial or something of karma. See, all religions accept karma up to a point. Some religions stop because they don't accept rebirth. So they'll say karma in heaven or hell, whatever. That also karma phala only, na? Yeah. You're going to heaven or hell based on karma phala. Again. Yeah. But they stop there. So otherwise, if we accept rebirth, etc., then it becomes expandable to a more logical version. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, and this statement now was in the last that it can be Maya Vachinam. That is one point of view. So then if it is Maya Vachinam, then there is no need for Vedanta. I can understand that.
There is no
Need for Vedanta teaching.
Exactly. If you are saying Eka Jiva, there is only one Jiva, okay, that means what? Maya Upihitam Chaitanyam. So in Maya Upihitam Chaitanyam, because it is all Maya, total, knowledge of Vedanta also should be there in it. No? Is Ishvara's mind. Then what the need for teaching Vedanta? So that's how I dismiss Eka Jiva Vada. There is nothing like Eka Jiva. That's an attempt at secularizing Vedanta, I think. Okay. See, there are certain passages in Brihadaranyaka. Maybe I should do that text sometime. It's a bit elaborate, maybe I should do that. We says the first manifestation came up and he felt alone and afraid. Then he said, hey, if I am alone, what is there to be afraid of anything? I am nothing but I am everything. Therefore, he was free. Based on that, they say, oh, Eka Jiva hai. It's all Aupacharikam. That is the emphasis there is to show that if you are all by yourself, if you are the only reality that is there, there is no need for fear. That is the point. Not that there is Eka Jiva. So, some scholars take it like that. Yeah. See, what I look as a problem, I am digressing slightly, but what I look on as a problem that came into Vedanta teaching. Previously, Vedanta teaching was only with Sampradayavits. Who is the Vedanta teacher? Sampradayavit. Upanishad is very clear. Shautriyam Brahmanishta. So you go find a Kshatriya, Brahmanishta and study. Some of them were popular teachers, some of them were not. Some may have been some quiet teachers staying in some kutia somewhere. Some others like Yajnavalkya etc. was very popular with thousands of disciples. Okay. His ashram had 10,000 cows. Can you imagine having a Goshala of 10,000 cows today? How big it has to be? You know? You need something like 100 acres of land only for that. Only for a Goshala. But that was Yajnavalkya. So, but there was no problem because they were all Sampradayavats. Then because of the value of Vedanta, they started introducing this in the Sanskrit schools that were there. So if you are introducing certain basics, there is no problem. But then the scholars started studying Vedanta without referring to Sampradayavats. Even today I have seen many Sanskrit scholars whom I know. If you have a point to clarify, it's good to discuss with them because they're very scholarly people. But they are not Sampradayavats. They don't have the tradition of teaching with them. They are scholarly because they know Sanskrit and they can read the Bhashya, and because the Bhashya is a form of unfolding only, actually speaking. The Bhashya are what is known as notes for unfolding for the teacher. So if you teach the Bhashya, generally you can't go wrong. If you stick only to the Bhashya, you cannot go wrong. But if you are not a Sampradayavat, you will tend to interpret the Bhashya in your own mind, in your own. So they started bringing in this Eka Jiva Vada, Aneka Jiva Vada and all that. So because of that, even Sampradayavats have to know some of that. That's Purvaksha now. So you say, okay, these are the two standpoints that is there. It's okay. See how to make it work. So how will they explain from this standpoint, that standpoint? But no Sampradayavat really accepts in his teaching and unfolding Ekajiva Vada. They will accept it as one of the possibilities of one of the possible interpretations. That's it. But not more than that. Scholars, of course, we will. Like this video is put up, I am sure I will get one or two comments from a scholar saying, no, the traditional is accepted. Traditional Sanskrit scholars accept it. Traditional Sampradayavats don't accept it. Then certain institutions, which were some institutions of learning run by Sampradayavats. So this problem comes up in running an institution. Generally, it is Guru Sishya Parampara. So what happens is, one of the Sishyas will take over and run, who is acceptable to people generally, or who has been appointed by the previous Guru who was there, says okay. So there is no issues. But there are some ashrams which are run by the trustees of that ashram. And those ashrams run well, there is no problem. And there are certain guidelines put by the founder. Who can be an acharya in the setup. And they have set certain qualifications. Like one ashram I know, I am still associated with that ashram. Their qualification is that he should have studied and be able to teach the Prasthanatrayi. So one of the Mandaleshwars who was there, the previous Mandaleshwar retired. He says, I'm too old now. He was in his 90s. I can't teach, I can't go. Because as a Mandaleshwar, you have other responsibilities also. That for a Kumbh Mela, you have to go. At least for the main Shahi Snans, you have to be there. So those type of responsibilities are there. That's why I don't think I'll ever be a Mandaleshwar. I was offered the post a couple of times, but I've not taken it up. Yeah, no, every 1.5 years, 1 month is gone in Kumbh Mela. Who's got that much of time? Okay. So, and the next Mandaleshwar, okay, the guidelines was who has learned and teach the Prasthana. So there was someone who was the principal of a Sanskrit college. And he had a guru also. He would go to this person. But his learning was all in the academic style, traditional Sanskrit academics. So he became the head of the setup. So actually there in that setup the teaching got compromised a bit. Luckily, the Mandaleshwar was going around in public duties, public talks, this, that, etc. And the traditional teaching was maintained by another senior Mahatma. So because of that, that teaching tradition got preserved. And it is this senior Mahatma I studied from when I was in Rishikesh. Not the Mandaleshwar. I couldn't study from the Mandaleshwar. I mean, I used to give him the respect he deserves as a Mandaleshwar, but I couldn't study. So this type of issues will come up. Okay. But it's a well-run ashram, everything is run going well. No issues, no hassles. And why? And there's another condition. If you're a Mandaleshwar, you cannot give sannyasa to someone. If you are giving sannyasa to someone, it has to be the name of that person's guru. Why? Because otherwise, anyone you have given sannyasa to has a claim over the place. Legal. Sishyastu putravat. Sishya legally in Indian context, the Sishya is, I don't know whether you have seen that somewhere, in these trust laws may come up. The Sishya is considered as a son, so you can claim. Yeah, you can claim. Yeah. True. I mean, generally they don't bother about all that thing because Tyaga is part of our life, so what are you going to claim? Yeah. Tyaga is part. Yeah. True. Anyway, that is the issue of Ekajivavad, Anekajivavad. I digress from there to show you all how some of these things have crept into Vedanta. Okay. Any other questions? I think Karthik had a question.
Yes, Swamiji. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
In the last class, they referred to the dream state as Indriya Ajanya Vishaya.
Ajanyam, yeah.
So, which means the waking state is Indriya Janya.
Yeah.
But in the waking state, all the emotions and other thoughts I have in my mind, is that also clubbed into Swapna in this model?
Some of it may be. Some of it may be carried forward as samskaras.
Okay.
May not be also. You may dislike someone strongly here, but in the dream, you may like that person also. Because mixed emotions are always there. Na? So some samskaras somewhere come into that.
But the emotions that I am having in the waking state may not necessarily be Indriya Janya, right? They may just arise from just without any Indriya Janya to them.
No, for an emotion, you need two things. There has to be some stimulation in terms of thinking. Okay? Thoughts create emotions. So some thinking has to be there. For thinking to be generated, there has to be some trigger point.
Yes.
The trigger point may be an external data that you have gained, an experience. Sometime, or it may be a disconnected one. You heard something and it got triggered your thinking in some other direction by association. But some trigger point you will require for both thinking and feeling. Sometimes the thing is that thinking and feeling happen so fast, we can't always catch what has come first. because the mind moves fast, but it's always thinking creates feeling. That's why I always say, no, to change your feeling, change your thinking. That's the best way of it. To change your feeling, change your thinking. Situation you may or may not be able to change. Yeah. The situation outside which triggered off the thinking, you may or may not be able to change. Some situations you can change, some you can't change. Yeah. If nothing and you want to change your feeling, you can say, Reva de, Reva de. Let it be, let it be. If you want to make it even more, Java de, Java de. That much though you can always do. Okay.
So one thing is, whenever there is when we talk about sambandha, the sambandha, then there is a vritti. Whenever an object.
This is a vritti, yeah.
Then what does he explain for the emotions and feelings and thinking and your own thoughts? That is also objectified. They are also vritti.
Yeah, it's objectified. Now, everything, every thought and feeling that comes into your mind is a vritti. Every thought.
So then what is the difference between that vritti and the vritti of this bench?
This is pramana vritti. Whereas supposing I am thinking, sitting, thinking, Arey yaar, morning breakfast was so nice. That vada was so crisp on the outside and soft on the inside. Then what am I doing? I am fantasizing on an experience that has gone before. No? Correct? That they are not pramana vrittis. They are smarakam, memory and plus fantasizing over it after that. But they are all vrittis. So that is the only difference. But when you first saw the vada, that was pramana. Yeah.
So whatever we think, analyze,
Yeah.
judge, all these are vrittis.
Yeah.
So what is the name for that? This is a pramana. What is that? Vritti?
They will come as smriti. Yeah. They will come as feelings, emotions. They will come as, yeah, all those things will come. Huh? All of them are sakshi. Na? Sakshi is not a vritti. All of them are known to the sakshi. So you witness all of them. Sakshi Vetyam, yeah. Sakshi Vetyam. Because they're inside your mind, you don't need an external perception.
Swamiji,
Yeah?
one small doubt, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anvata Vatireka,
Yeah.
related to the desires of the mind. I'm a little confused about that.
Okay. Look at it. See, Anvaya Vyatireka is used in two ways. If it is used as a pramanam to support, what is Anvaya Vyatireka? Now, Anvaya Vyatireka, if it is used as anumanam, Tarkikas use Vyatireka also as an example for inference. Vedantins use only Anvaya. Anvaya means this is there, it has to be there, so that is also there. Anvaya. This data is anvitam in what you have to figure out. Like smoke has got an Anvaya and fire, therefore when you see smoke, you can infer fire. It's Anvaya. Whereas Tarkikas use Vyatireka example to show very peculiar examples. Water is different from fire. Really, they use because the qualities are different. So they will use a Vyatireka logic. Like Apaha Agnibhya Binnaha Shitalatvat. Now, Yatha, what example will you give? Vyatirekena Jalamati or something like that you will have to say. Vyatirekena. Because you don't have another thing like that. So, Vedantin counters by saying, do you really need Anumanam to know that fire and water are different? Does your perception not tell you that? So, there is no need for Vyatireka Anumanam. But the Vyatireka argument, Vedantins use to establish Satyam and Mithya. There we use, like cloth is, kurta is there. Kurta is not there, cloth still is.
Yeah.
So there Anvaya Vyatireka is used to indicate, to only arrive at what is Satyam, what is Mithya. Only there we use Anvaya Vyatireka. Yeah. We can use it the other way around also. Cloth is there, kurta is there. Cloth is not there, kurta is not there. Both ways you can use it. Vyatireka.
But
So-
Adhishtanam is always
Yeah.
there.
Adhishtanam, that's why the Adhishtanam is Anvayam. So Vyatireka becomes what is added on. Therefore Satyam Mithya became, Anvaya Vyatireka is used for that. Only for that argument it is used. It is not used for Anumana, etc. It is not used. Oh, yeah. Only for this it is used. Yeah. Establishing Satyam Mithya. Because to arrive at distinctness of two things, other pramanas will give it to you. You don't need to make an anumanam for it. Yeah. Any other questions?
Swamiji, I have a question. So we have categorized these three stages as absolute stages in the sense that they don't overlap each other. Like in the waking state, one is daydreaming, then like
Yeah.
kind of.
So they are not watertight compartments in that way. See, nothing in the world can be held as totally distinct from anything else. This table and my body, totally distinct, no? Not really. Both are made of hydrocarbons. So, the total this thing is not there in an interconnected world. And the world is interconnected. We don't recognize that. I have given that old example once, no? Okay. It's old enough. You all would have forgotten it anyway. BC sometime. Okay. Just before the Roman Empire was collapsing, Julius Caesar was stabbed by the Senate, members of the Senate, correct? Including his own friend, Brutus. So, his dying breath came out. 2000 years ago, okay? The dying gasp, breath came out. So, someone sat down and did a mathematical calculation and found that people living today, every one of us, has had at least one molecule connected with that breath, which Julius Caesar's last gasp. Is there any better example for interconnectedness across time and space? Yeah. Any one of us, check our DNAs. Okay? None of us is pure Bharatiya DNA. We may have some vague European DNA. Neanderthal DNA. You know, the previous, before human beings were there, their DNA exists in us. Some 2% or something, or 3% DNA is inherited from before they became Homo sapiens. So, if you look at it that way, nothing is really distinct. Nothing is. Yeah, for certain argument, perception, understanding certain things, you will treat it as distinct. Yeah. Okay. I am talking purely from the science standpoint. If you go to Vedanta, everything is based on existence, everything is manifestation. Forget it. There is only one. Yeah. But these other arguments from science, etc., help us proceed towards there. Therefore, I am quoting it. Yeah. Okay. Ready to go into the text? Okay. Now he is dealing with the meaning of Tattvamasi. He doesn't deal with Tattvamasi elaborately. Bhagatyaga, Lakshana, etc. he doesn't go into. If you want, I will do a sum up of that. Okay. But what is he going into? Let us see. He is dealing with some of the Purvapakshas even before Tattvamasi comes up. Because you say, what is Tattvamasi? Akhandartha Bodhaka Vakyam. Meant to show the identity between you and that. Correct? Udari objection aata hai. What is that? Idanim tvam padartho. Oh, sorry. Tvam padartha we see. We have to see. Mental state also we have seen. Aduna tattvam padarthayoho aikyam mahavakya pratipadyam abhidhiyate. Now what are we going to do? Tattvam padayoho, padarthayoho. This is page 195. Huh?
195.
Yeah, other things we have done. Yeah. So I am Jyoti, etc. we said last time. Then he says, Tattvam padarthayoho aikyam mahavakya pratipadyam abhidhiyate. That which has been revealed, the meaning of Tat and Tvam, which is used in the Mahavakya. What the Mahavakya is, we are going to talk about it. Okay. Purvapaksha right there. Stay order. Nanu aham Ishvaraha ityadi pratyakshena kinchit yatma sarvajnatvadi viruddha dharma ashrayatwadi lingena dva suparnau ityadi shrutyam dva vimau purusho loke ksharas aksharameva cha ksharas sarvani bhutani kutasto aksharamuchyate ityadi smrutya cha jiva parabhedasya avagatena tattvamasyadi vakyam adityo yupaha yajamano prastaraha ityadi vakyavad upacharitartham eva iti chet na. 2-3 Purvapakshas are mixed up in it. Let us see the first Purvapaksha. It says, Tattvamasi is saying, you are Brahman, you are Ishvara. He is saying, ityadi pratyaksha pramana viruddham. Why? Pratyaksha pramana says what? You are kinchit nyaha, you know little. Ishvara sarvajnaha. Alpa vyapi, even if you put on weight. Sarva vyapi, all pervading. Therefore, viruddha dharma ashrayaha. Dharmas are viruddham, pratyakshena siddham. Okay? Ashrayata lingena. This is one argument, pratyaksha. Other is, if you are quoting Shruti, yeah, dva suparno sahaja sayuyam. Remember? कौन सा उपनिषद है याद है? उंडका. 2 birds on the same tree. One is Jiva, one is Ishvara. Your Shruti also talks about 2. Then your Smriti, Gita, Dvamamau Purusho Loke. 2 Purushas in the world. Ksharam cha Aksharam cha. Kshara Sarvani Bhutani. Ksharam is the entire this thing. All the beings. Kutastam Aksharo Uchyate. There also there are 2. So your Pratyaksha, okay, then your Shruti. When these ityadi smritya cha, but no, Tattvamasi is an Upanishadic statement. ठीक है, रहने दो. Upanishadic statement, okay. But he says, just like in the Upanishad, there is a Vakyam, Adityo Yupaha. The Yupaha. Now what is the Yupaha? It is a 6-phased pole that is made for a yaga and put into the ground. The sacrificial animal is tied to that. Oh my God, Vedic people sacrificed animals? Yes. Sometimes they were sacrificed. Very often they were not physically sacrificed. Only mantra upacharam was done. Okay? And it was kept tied there. And the yaga was completed by 7 grains. You have to offer instead of the others 7 grains. The older the better. So people had grains, 10-year-old grain, 10-year-old rice, barley, etc. Oats. 10 years they preserved it because for yagas, etc. to be used. And that was offered, not this thing. Therefore, this Yupaha is praised as Aditya. Aditya is the sun. Yupa kidhar sun hai? Viruddha dharma. Sun is effulgent. Yupa is what? Wood. Sun burns up everything. Yupa gets burnt. But aupacharikam arthavadaha, to be treated with respect. It is not just any pole put into the ground. It is not a tent pole. It's not a tent pole. Can you treat a flagpole as any other pole? No, a flagpole is to be respected. Similarly here, not any other ordinary. It's Aditya itself. So, like that. Similarly, Yajamano Prastaraha. Yajamana is nothing but Indra himself. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Or Prastara is this thing, sorry, the Kusha. The Kusha grass. It is used for various things. Okay, in a yaga, just as digression I bet. First, as protection. If you have noticed a yaga done, if you have seen something being done at this thing, etc., where are matha, etc., you will find all the 4 on the around the yajna kunda, you will keep protection. The yajamana will wear a ring made of kusha grass. Therefore, the kusha grass is as important as the yajamana. He is supposed to protect the yaga. So, kusha is the grass, yaar, मैं काट के लेके आया हूँ. I went to the field in the morning, chopped it and brought it. But no, it has to be treated like that. That's why before chopping there is a mantra, Ishetva, etc. Tvam Vishadnami. There is a mantra like that. Because it is sacred. Okay, it is sacred. All this is what? Arthavada, Aupacharikam, not to be taken literally. So also your Mahavakya, not to be taken literally. Aupacharikam eva. करते हैं ना. Before you do a puja, you do an Atma puja or not? If you are doing an elaborate puja, you do an Atma puja. Why? किसके लिए करते? You are supposed to do puja of Ishvara. Atma just to feel holy. Okay, nice. Yeah. 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 So, take it like that, Arthavada eva. So, not to be taken literally, there is no pramanyam. Yeah?
Even now, we have some friends who are so staunch Shankaramatam. Even they also still believe.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, yeah. All Karmatas believe that. They may come to Shankaramatam. They call it Shankaramatam, but the only thing they will take from that is the ritualistic part. No nothing. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I used to teach in Matunga regularly. No? Even still, they consider me, when are you going to start the classes? Barely 1 or 2 people from the Matha has come to the class. All are from outside. They have a great respect. Only Pujya Swami Dayananji's parampara or the Sringeri Kanchi Acharya parampara will teach you. They have great respect for that. Okay? But when it comes to themselves, what learning will you have? Puja Path, bas, udhar hi atka hai. Ayyo, Tattvamasi Alam. We can't handle all. In fact, there is a joke among the sadhus. If someone has become a priest, write him off for this lifetime. write him off for this lifetime, won't come. So once the person who gave Puja Swamiji, when he was Brahmachari Natarajan, his Yajnopavita Diksha. No, Yajnopavita Diksha. That man took sannyasa. He was 70 or something, 60, 60s. At 60, when he reached 60, he took sannyasa. Created a big halagulla. Hey, he has taken sannyasa. How is that possible? Even the sadhus, how did a priest take sannyasa? How the karmata, all their life they'll remain. Because that's how it is. What to do? The conditionings. This lifetime is not meant for that. Next lifetime, dekhega. Yeah. So, it is Arthavada. If this is your argument, iti chet, no, that is not true. That's not true. Why? Bheda pratyakshasya. He is starting with pratyaksham first. Bheda pratyakshasya. Sambhavita karana doshasya. Asambhavita dosha janya jnanena bhadyamanatvat. It's almost like a paribhasha he is saying it. Like a rule of interpretation. He is saying a perception which has got a dosha. Therefore, the pramanak jatnik jnanam there, he has got doshas in it. Therefore, it is not prama, it is brahma. Will have to be negated by a pramana which does not have the dosha. Okay? So, for which now he is giving an example to explain that. Says anyatha, if that is not acceptable, Chandragata adhika paramana grahi jyotisha shastra chanda pradesha grahi pratyakshena badapattehe. What is that? The Jyotisha Shastra says the Chandra that you have seeing is huge, hundreds of miles across, yojanas across. What does your Pratyaksha say? Itna hi. This much. Huh? Yeah, 1 feet across. Your Pratyaksha says that. Now, do you accept your Pratyaksha or do you accept the Jyotisha Shastra? Remember, this is a time when moon landing has not happened. This book is written at a time when the moon landing has not happened. That's why he's giving that example, a nice example. What do you accept? That the moon is only 1 feet across or hundreds of yojanas across? Hundreds of. Why? Why do you accept that? Because this perception has an upadhi. Here the upadhi is the distance, the dosha is the distance. Things far will appear smaller. Whereas that upadhi is not there in the Jyotisha Shastra. Okay? Therefore we accept that. That means what? If the Pratyaksha Prama has a fault in it, it can be negated by a Pramana which does not have a fault. Very important rule of interpretation, almost like that it comes. It doesn't have. Therefore, what? Okay. Huh? Beg your pardon?
Sunrise and sunset.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, same thing also. Yeah. Badapattehe. Okay. Pakarakte gate raktoyam na shyamaha itivat सविशेषणैः इति न्यायेन जीव पर भेद ग्राहिक प्रत्यक्षस्य विशेषणीभूत धर्म भेद विषयत्वाच्च. Okay. Now he says this person went, he made a pot himself. Sat down to the potter and made. Okay. Red in color, red. Mud he had used, so it's red in color. Then it has to be baked, na? Either it has to be left drying in the sun for days, but rainy season. So it has to be baked. So you put it into the oven, and after some time you open the oven and give it to you. Okay? This is black pot. This is not my pot. Can you say that? Here the example is different. Raktoyam na shamaha. This is red, not black. Even black, when it is baked, it can become red. Okay? So, Raktoyam na shamaha means what? No, the gata is one and the same. Only one attribute has changed. So, when you say this is the same pot you gave, what is it that you are negating? One attribute. The pot is pot. Pot has not changed. One attribute has changed. That's all, no? So, that means in your daily, day-to-day life, you will say the same thing. Attributes are different, that's all. Some attribute. Similarly, he says, okay. Or, in case of a qualified entity, savisheshano hi iti nyayena. What is the savisheshano nyayaha? The dacoit is dead, the saint is born. Do you say? Kon mara dacoit? Who killed the dacoit? What weapon did he use? No. His dacoitness, which was a pattern of behavior, thinking and behavior, that changed. He became Valmiki the Rishi. Attributes change. Person is one and the same, na? Just imagine. Person is one and the same. No more dacoity. But just imagine a scenario. There are dacoits in that area. Okay? Troubling the person. Imagine Valmiki walking up to them. The dacoit says, you better leave all these characters around. They are my people. What do you think the other dacoits will do? Hey, this man was Ratnakara before Baba. Take his word seriously. Very world famous dacoit he was. Will they not recognize the same person? Attributes has changed. He is no more the dacoit. He is no more a dacoit, but he is being the dacoits. Even they recognize he is Valmiki. They recognize the difference. He is Valmiki now. But they recognize he was. Yeah. Same way. Qualities have changed. Person is the same. Qualities have changed. Thinking has changed. Behavior has changed. Everything has changed. Person has gone. Person is the same person. Yeah. That's why I always say, all my life I owned some uniform or the other. School uniform, scout uniform, naval uniform, abhi sannyasi uniform. What?
Yeah. Lord Krishna says in
Yeah.
Gita
Yeah.
that even the vilest
Yeah, correct. He can become different. Yeah.
once he is changed,
Kshipram bhavati dharmatma.
he becomes a sadhu.
Yeah,
That's what he is.
correct. Kshipram bhavati. Yeah. Overnight he can change. Correct. That means what? Only the Visheshanas are dropped. If entity is same, iti nyayena jiva parabheda grahika pratyakshasya visheshni bhuta dharma bheda visheshatvacha. That means what? Jiva bheda pratyakshas. The pratyakshan that says Jiva and Brahma is different. That is only reference to the qualities. Bheda is dependent only upon the qualities. Visheshni bhuta dharma bheda vishayatvacha. Not the entity. So now consciousness is identified with Maya Upadi, therefore Sarvajnatva. The same consciousness identified with Maya Upadi, Alpajnatvam ityadi. What is the difference? Gunas. What is the entity? Consciousness. So consciousness, no Beda. Entities, there is Beda. In the entities, there is Beda. Ateva, na anumanam api pramanam. In this case, even anumanam cannot be pramanam. Why? Agama virodha. Agama virodha. Now, agama virodha, he is giving another argument. Now you have to go by the Shastra, because it's a Shastric argument. He says, Meru Pashanadivat. Meru is the mountain. Don't ask me where it is. Shastra bola, I accept it. It is supposed to be the center of the universe. Therefore, obviously, it cannot be on Earth. Earth is not in the center, it is on the periphery. Correct? If you look at the Milky Way and the whole galaxy, it's on the periphery. It's not on the center. We are away from the center. Okay? Now, it says, Meru is the center on which the whole universe is revolving. Like how our planet revolves around the sun, our solar system, everything revolves around the sun. But the whole sun is also revolving around something else. That is revolving around something else. What is the final center? Meru. Possible, because if you are saying revolving, it has to be revolving around something. That is the center. Okay? And the Nayayika makes an argument. Meruhu Pashanaha. It's a rock, it's a stone. Why? Parvatatvat. All mountains are stone, therefore Meru also has to be a stone. And where did you hear from the Meru? From the Shastra, na? And the Shastra says Meru is made of gold. So what will you take it? Is your Anumanam applicable to Meru? Because it's a mountain, it has to be rock. Is that thing applicable? It's not applicable. Because Meru is not on earth. On earth, if it was, you can say that. Meru is somewhere else. The only way you can know it through the Shastra. Therefore, if the Shastra says a gold mountain, it's a gold mountain. Finished. How can you say, no, it has to be rock? Arey, तेरे को rock रहने का तो ले ले. I will go by the Shastra. Because any argument is also endless. Now, how do you know? But he is just giving an example to show that when it comes to Shastra, your kitchen logic is not applicable. Another example of kitchen logic. Okay? Exactly, same thing you can take. Yeah. Anything. Like how you say, the spot is made by me, therefore this universe must have a creator. First you have to prove that the universe is created. Only then you can say, pot is created, you can see. Therefore you can say there is a creator. But that Anumanam to establish God is not valid. We have seen that before when we studied Anumanam. So in certain areas, your worldly logic is not applicable. Yeah. Your worldly logic is just not applicable. Yeah. An electron is a random particle. Once freed from its atom, it will move randomly. Why? Because it has got a circuit around the atom. If it is freed from that, it has to move randomly. This is the logic. But if you study quantum physics, that random movement looks as though there is a choice involved. Let us say there are two openings for the electron to move through. They'll randomly move through either of them. But if one thing is closed, they'll all move through the other one. How does it make that choice? It is not like flow of water. Flow of water, there is interconnectedness, there is one mass. But an free flying electron hardly has any mass. Plus, one electron is not connected to other. Looks disconnected, but there is a connectedness. If two electrons are born simultaneously in two different places, they will behave as a twin, as a pair, as a twin. So your normal logic is not applicable in such cases. Then what are you talking about, what the Shastra has to say? See, does the Shastra come and say your consciousness? Or the Shastra says your consciousness because you already happen to be consciousness? That I am a conscious entity, is there a doubt? Self-evident, no? Satasiddham. The question is only on the nature of that consciousness. Correct? So the Shastra logically proves your sense of finitude is because of your association, your identification. Association by itself is not a problem. Sahaja tadatmyam, remember? Yaad hai ye sab? 3 types of tadatmyam. Sahaja tadatmyam, natural. Mind is associated with consciousness, mind will become conscious. Karmajam tadatmyam. What is karmajam? So means what? That particular conscious mind is connected to this body because of karma. Mind and consciousness is not connected through karma. That is sahajam. Now what is the third one? Brantijam. What is Brantijam? When you mistake the body, mind, etc. to be yourself. Now what has to be negated? Only the Brantijam. Sahajam cannot be negated. Karmajam need not be negated. If karmajam has to be negated, you have to go and kill yourself. So sometimes sadhus do that. They call it samadhi. Both ho gaya. I don't want to be a burden on anyone. Baith ke samadhi mein chale jao. Allowed. Consciously leaving this body. If you have learned those techniques. Or jala samadhi. Walk into the Ganga. Keep walking. Keep walking. The Ganga will take you away. Let it take. That's the only way karmajam can go. Yeah. Or like many Jain monks, etc. do. Or my mother did. Stop eating, drinking. Both ho gaya. Nahi manta hai. The Lord will have to take me. Yeah, but he may last around for a month or two. That's a different thing. Choice available. If you notice, most of them are reversible. Deliberately kept. Because you may change your mind. Huh? Taking a gun and firing into your head is not allowed in Samadhi, okay? Yeah, because you may change your mind. Like when I was in Rishikesh, one sadhu decided to walk into the Ganga. And halfway into the Ganga, he changed his mind. But it was rainy season, he had gone so much, he couldn't go further, he couldn't come back. The flow was too strong. No, he called out for help and we heard it. It was in front of our ashram only. That time the ashram was smaller. There were a lot of huts, hutments, small huts where the sadhus were staying. So we heard it and we went and pulled them back and came back. Yeah, I took a rope and went in. Yeah, tied that rope around him. Because to hold him and pull him and bring, I have to keep my balance and step also, no? Otherwise I'll land up at Haridwar without ticket. So I put this thing around him, tied him to me so that we are properly connected. Tadatmyam is strong. Sambandha is strong. He won't be carried away. And I have my hands and nose free enough to walk and reach. So karmajam will go only like that, not any other way. Brantijam is the one that creates the problem. So the Brantijam is what is negated. By Tattvamasya Vakyena, what is negated is Brantijam Tadatmya, the erroneous conclusion in your mind. And once that is negated, self-evident consciousness is self-evident consciousness, limitlessness itself. No limits. Because you have shifted your identification of the body and mind to the consciousness. So the consciousness in you, consciousness Ishvara is unconsciousness alone. Where is two there? One consciousness. That's why Jivo Brahma, Jiva is not Mithya. Jagat is put as Mithya. So what is Jagat? Body, mind and everything else. That is a Mithya aspect. Yeah. So don't see Ishvara as Mithya. And you are Satyam. नहीं होता है. Yeah. So this is the completion of the Mahavakya in that sense, okay? Okay. So what is he really saying? What he is really implying is just that first, with respect to Atma Jnanam, the superiority of the Pramana. All Pramanas are not equal. No? All Pramanas are equal in the sense they give you Abhaditam Jnanam. But all the 5 Pramanas are supposed to give you Abhadita Jnanam only as far as Vyavahara is concerned. Worldly transaction is concerned. Even Shabda, when it deals with the first part, it's still Vyavaharikam, but not necessarily of this world, that's all. When you talk about the first portion of the Veda giving you Vyavaharika Jnanam, it means other worlds also. Other world is also Vyavahara, transactional. Heaven is transactional or not transactional? Part of Vyavahara or not? You become a sightseer in heaven. Hare, yes, very nice. Yeah. Hare, I expected this to be there. Oh, nahi hai, acha nahi hai. Hare, my friend was such a good person. He went before me, but he is not there. Either he was not the good person you thought he was, and he has gone somewhere else, or he wasn't better than what you thought, and he went somewhere else. Okay, well, all possibilities are there, na? So you will become a sightseer. Vyavahara, na? खाएगा पिएगा. हेवन आती है क्या? क्या करूं मैं हेवन में आके? खाएंगे पिएंगे ऐश करेंगे और क्या? What are they going to do in heaven? Tell me. रेनी सीजन ना आती क्या खंडाला? कैंप आती है ना? Okay, I'm joking, but the idea is the same. और क्या? All Vyavaharikam. When it comes to the Upanishadic section, that Pramana is Paramarthikam. It deals with the Paramarthika Satyam, not Vyavaharika Satyam. The only Pramana that can give you Paramarthika Jnanam is Shabda. The Upanishad. The first portion of the Veda gives you Shabdam Jnanam, which other Pramanas cannot give you. True. But they are part of the Vyavaharik world. Vyavaharik universe or multiverse, if you want to. New term after DC Comics. Multiverse. Okay. Science always uses the term multiverse because there is more than one universe. Multiverse. Though they talk about multiple dimensions as different from what we talk about it, okay? The difference in that. Okay. So, this is it. Paramarthika Jnanam is only from the Shastra. Therefore, no other Pramana, really speaking, can challenge that. That's what is highlighting here. Napi, Anumanam, etc. is meant to. No other Pramana, neither your perception, Anumanam, Upmanam, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi, none of them can challenge that. Though you can use all these Pramanas to understand what the Shastra says. Why? What is it that stands in your understanding of the Shastra? Your own notions, your own knowledge that you have picked up. So that has to be negated by your own knowledge. That's okay. Your own knowledge was gained by the 5 pramanas. So you take it up and knock it off. Sometimes the wrong notion also comes from the 6th pramana. Why you are stuck only into the first part, dharmartha kama, the transactional part, the vyavaharika part. So that may condition you. Because to do a karma, you have to take yourself as finite or infinite. Either you have to take it as a role and do it, or you have to take it as real and do it. And most people who do karma take it as real and do it. No? Only the wise person does it differently. Therefore, you can get stuck there also. That's what he is trying to negate. In the larger context, he has negated only Meru, etc. Those type of examples he has given. But what is he trying to say? Yeah. In the Paramartha field, only the Upanishad Pramana works, nothing else works. Therefore, like how moksha is put as Parama Purushartha, over and above Dharmartha Kama. Krishna says that very clearly in the Gita. Traigunya Vishayo Veda, Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. The first portion of the Veda deals with the three gunas. Gunas there are not Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Dharmartha Kama. Dharmartha Kama. Traigunya Vishaya. Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. Be one who is free from the need for the 3. Why? Moksharti Bhava. Or Atmavan Bhava, where you don't need anything. That's the whole idea. So there also it is the same. But I can get conditioned by it. I can get conditioned by anything. I can live and die for a small political post. No? You see some of the politicians, they are willing to sell the country around the line just because they want to be PM. Any nonsense, anything, any association they will pick up. By alpa buddhis. Alpa buddhis, thinking is small. Therefore, that conditioning can come in through anything. So karma also can be a conditioning. Your emotions can be a conditioning. Yeah. Your neighbor can be a conditioning. Of course, neighbors are conditioning. So the thing is here, he says use whatever pramanas you need to decondition yourself and then use the paramartha, pramana for paramartham. Job is done. Yeah, when the job is done, there is no issue about anything anymore. Yeah. All right. Then what about Agama, Antara, Virodha, etc.? That we will see in the next class. Okay, good place to stop. Unless there are some questions.
Maybe this Meru example is in this context of
Huh?
what? I didn't understand the Meru example.
To show that how Anumana cannot contradict what the Shastra has said. That's why he gave that, yeah. Okay. All right, good place to stop. Om Tat Sat. Take care.